in my last video I showed hardening some ratchet wheels made out of silver steel, and also case hardening a small pin by rolling it in kasenit. I did mention that I use another method of case hardening, and that is to soak the component in a tin filled with kasenit and keeping a red heat. The longer you leave it, the deeper the case goes, and it's this method I'm going to show now, using this tin and some kasenit, which I will add the part to be done. It's going to be a warm job heating up these little bits and pieces today, because we're in the middle of a heat wave here in the UK, and it's registering 33 in the garden on my thermometer. A little bit of air conditioning in the workshop though will help me. Now, although kasenit contains a cyanide based compound, it's quite safe in the home. It's been used in industry for many years. The main ingredient is sodium ferrocyanide, which as I say is quite safe, but you've got to be careful where acids are concerned. You don't want to be having acids mixed with the stuff, because that can be potentially hazardous. You also need some reasonable ventilation when you're using the stuff. I'm not too bad in my workshop. I have reasonable ventilation, and I'm only using a small amount anyway, but you don't want to be breathing in the fumes, and that's just one of the other things to look out for. You can actually case harden just by filling up the small container. This is a part of an old tin. Just fill it up and then put the part you want to harden in the tin and just bury it, cover it with the kasenit and then heat it up. And that's what I'm planning to do. I'll just make sure it's covered. And that's what I normally do. It's quite a good way of doing case hardening. The longer you heat it and leave it, the deeper the case. That's what I've found with kasenit anyway. I don't know about other hardening compounds. As I mentioned before, you can't get kasenit like you used to. You can get the alternate ones, which I've never used, so I don't know what they're like. But I've had this tub plus the other tub, and I haven't used it out a lot. And the amount I've got here, plus another full one of these, I'll never ever use them in my lifetime. But it's handy stuff for case hardening. Now you could get a small box, steel box, iron box or whatever, and fill that with powdered charcoal, finely powdered charcoal, and put your part in it that you want to harden. Then you'd have to seal the lid with the fire clay, and then you'd have to put it in a furnace. Either that, or if you use a blowtorch, it's going to take you forever. But you really need a furnace, and it needs about probably 7 or 8 hours heating up until enough carbon's been absorbed into the mild steel component or whatever you case hardening, and then it'll create a decent depth of case. That's another way, but to me that can be an expensive way, unless you're running a business maybe. Even then it's going to be expensive. I don't think it's done these days. Carburizing, that's what they call it. I think there's another name for it, but I'm not right sure. Pack hardening, that's the other. Now, in the old days they used to use old leather, old bones and hooves and God knows what bits and pieces of animals, and that was supposed to be pretty good in producing for the steel to absorb carbon. I won't fancy having a lot of old animal bits in my workshop smoking away. I think neighbours would be complaining. Besides my wife, I don't think she'd put up with that. That is for sure. But anyway, that's an old-fashioned way. But the old kasenit method's probably the best. So I'm going to give it a go and see how it goes.
First job now is get the old C-vert going again. And it's just a matter now of heating up this this container with the stuff inside. First things first, I better open the door. It will also be better to have some water to quench it. Well, I don't know whether the camera picked that up, but when I quenched it there was quite a loud crack, and that's and there we are. That's the result. Now that should be hardened. Pot hard is that. And that's just another method of case hardening by just letting it soak in a container and making sure it's covered, and then heat the whole lot up and then quench in the normal way. Now that should be okay for a second hardening. If I warm that up now, which has gone quite solid, it's solid is that now, it's like cinder almost. And what I shall do, I shall just warm that up and see if there's enough strength in that to harden this other part. So I'll just put that in as is and see what happens. I somehow don't think there'll be enough, but there might be. Now you can see the where it's melted. Now I need to get it out of there before it sets hard. I haven't left it long. This is just really as a demo, but there should be enough. There should be enough coating there to produce at least a hard case. So I'll quench this now. And there again we've got the typical grey colour of hardening, case hardening with kasenit. Yeah, there was enough. That's also hard. So that's two different methods of case hardening using kasenit. And that's the first one which I did with it buried under the compound, and that's the other one which I just rolled in it basically like you normally do. I see once you've done it with this method, heated everything up in a container, it's solid. So that's the methods I use when I'm doing a bit of case hardening. Simple. I've never tried the powdered charcoal idea. I think it'd be too long-winded for me, too expensive. There's other ways of hardening components in mild steel. It's beyond me. There's nitriding and pure cyanide hardening. I don't know whether that's still done these days. That's although this compound's got cyanide, is a cyanide-based chemical in it. But when I was an apprentice in the 60s, we used to do cyanide hardening at the company I worked for, and there used to be, I think, either 2 or 3 pots of the special furnaces. They weren't right big, but they were all in a row, and these contained molten cyanide and I believe another chemical, somehow sodium carbonate rings a bell. I might be wrong there. But these furnaces were kept going quite a while, and we used to harden lots of parts for the textile industry, fluted rollers and other kinds of rollers that needed really hard surfaces, because you'd be surprised how abrasive wool can be. When the wool trade was going full belt in this city, the amount of things that came in that are being worn down by wool passing through it, you wouldn't believe it. And these parts needed replacing by having a really very hard surface. Well, more than the surface, probably the depth of case was probably 1/8 of an inch, because these were ground up when they'd been hardened. And these cyanide pots were in the blacksmith's shop. Now the curious thing is that us apprentices, during the break, dinner break, lunch break, we'd go into the blacksmith shop, and we'd sit round the blacksmith's forge. We all had his own seat. Some used boxes, wooden boxes or whatever you could, and we all sat round the forge, especially on a winter's day, because the forge were always going, and we'd sit round it and keep warm. But just virtually at the back of us were these cyanide furnaces, and when you look behind you, there were all these white spatter marks all over the floor, all over the place, and it was cyanide. And we're all sat there eating the sandwiches and put our sandwiches down at the side of us, and it's a miracle that none of us were poisoned. We never did. Nobody got poisoned, but there was cyanide all over. The cyanide were kept in large metal canisters, and they were about the size of a small tennis ball. It was sodium cyanide. The tons of the stuff it was. So just amazing that I'm still here, really. But nobody ever got poorly. Nobody got poisoned. I know there was a bottle of antidote in the corner, and if anybody did accidentally get cyanide in them, well, you had to go and get this special medicine, this antidote. But that never ever happened. All the years I worked there as an apprentice, nobody ever had any bother with cyanide poisoning. And when these parts were cyanide hardened, they used to come out of the furnace glowing red hot, and they had to be quenched, and they were quenched in these big tanks not far from where we were sitting, and they dropped these in the tanks, these shafts. Some of them were quite large and very heavy, and the bang they made when they were dropped into that water tank was unbelievable. It was just like a cannon shot going off. You'd jump 6 foot into the air if you weren't expecting them, if you didn't know what they were. But yeah, amazing experience, and at least I'm still here to tell the tale. But that's it for a little bit of case hardening. I hope you found it of interest, and thank you for watching.